All right, folks, we're back, and we're going to be hopping into game number 1 in a brand new best of 3. It's the other semifinals here with two awesome players. We see these two all the time. These are our Corsair Cup regulars. And in the bottom right, we got none other than Team Liquid's Blue MaNa.
In the top left, as the red Terran, it is aLive on Mind Sanity. Don't forget.
I actually do keep forgetting, though.
I know. The only reason I remember, honestly, is because I've seen him in his jersey at this point in time since I watched SSL. Otherwise, I don't think I would ever remember. And speaking of, he's not doing so well in SSL. We talked about his he was kind of on his rise to fame. Rise to fame with Gumiho for a couple months there, like neck and neck, like who's actually going to be the standout star, and then Gumiho just got on a rocket and just went way ahead. And ever since then, it feels like aLive's been a little deflated. She's no longer the upcoming top Terran that I thought it was going to be a couple months ago.
What if it's something about the towel?
Well, Gumi doesn't even need the towel anymore, man. He's transcended.
If the man can learn to evolve his hands in a way that they don't need that towel anymore, it stands to reason.
Evolve his hands. Just his hands, though. Nothing else.
His APM, everything increases.
Yeah.
Next, Ikuro, thank you for the 5 months. Yeah, boy. Yeah. All right, so what's kind of cool is there is a big dynamic up here. I'm looking at chat, and I'm seeing the responses from the previous game, so I had to scroll up for it. It's like, who the hell is Hellraiser? Or is Hellraiser D? Blah, blah, blah. Hellraiser is a guy who's been around for a while, and that's what's the depressing part of it, right? A lot of you don't know who he is, and that's totally fine. Who's going to fan over some random round of 16 player, right? So it's really cool to see that not only does he defeat a fairly notable player to get here, two notable players, I would say, to get to the finals, it's the fact that he's now caught the attention of a lot of the fans that, again, makes me really glad that we're doing Open Cups again. So, while the invite format last month was really great, I was never one who wanted to move away from the Open Cup. It's just kind of we were being forced to. Today was good for signups. Today was great for exposure on a new player. And what's even better is now with both of these two competing, it guarantees there's actually going to be one really... Wow, I just whistled my ass. What am I, Gopher from Winnie the Pooh?
Just whistled your ass? Oh, God.
My ass. What am I at? Yeah. I think an ass whistle is just a fart, isn't it? Anyways. Sorry, just finishing up that statement here. We get one of these two, no matter who advances to the finals, we're actually going to get a really good matchup. Not in terms of I think it'll be close and amazing, but it'll be a good way to measure Hellraiser.
Yeah, I agree.
Whatever happened to freaking, who was it? Gung Fu Banda. That was another Protoss guy who just came out of the gate swinging.
Yeah, I feel like he also, this is a long time ago that was along with a couple of the Protosses actually developing Protoss when they were really struggles. He was looking cleaner and cleaner every single time we saw him, and then he just stopped playing. Someone took his power too. Maybe it was Showtime. Just left him in the dumps, but we have not seen him play at all in a long time.
Yeah, Gung Fu was on the road to a pretty good success. Oh well. Two Hellions coming in. We'll see if MaNa can perform some cool moves, or maybe just completely zones out the Hellions altogether.
Yeah, just slapped him away. Back. Get out of here.
Oh, fun note. Hellraiser is not only in chat, but apparently he's a subscriber. So clearly, it's all the super sick replay packs he's been getting from us, allowing him to study from the Koreans and obtain better... No, I'm just kidding. But hey, if you guys are looking for some benefits to subscribing, you get a lot of emotes, you're in stuff on the channel faster, but you also get replay packs every time we do a tournament that we can share them with. So, for example, today, happy to send those out to all of our fans. But we don't show... It's not public. It's only to our subscribers.
Yeah. And this guy, Bach 11's going to get this replay pack. Hey.
Bulk 11's going to get those bulk replays. You know what I'm saying?
Hey. All right. MaNa is going to be going for... It looks actually for a Disruptor drop, to be honest, with the timing of their Robotic Spade and the Warp Prism. Nailed it.
Ooh.
It's funny, because it really seems to come down to the timing of... Nailed it.
Scarlet.
The Warp Prism and the Robotic Spade to determine whether it's a Disruptor drop or just a Colossus build on 2 bases. But yeah.
I guess one of the good
Definitely
things was scouting this. Now, unfortunately, it's kind of hard to guess. Disruptor drops are really not common. Educated guess, maybe aLive knows. But this is still like a weird thing for him to probably have to deal with. I don't know many other players who do this anymore. Neeb did for a while, but even he stopped doing it.
Hero pulls it out of his bag of tricks every once in a while, so I'm happy to see it. It does require, I think, a lot of. Like, it just requires being like a really good Protoss player. Just a good Protoss player, but like a really good Protoss player. As obviously losing this aggression in the early game is even more devastating than like a regular. For adept harassment build of the Warp Prism. And then on the backside, trying to actually safely tech Colossus can be quite hard, difficult too. A 5 SCV is not a bad start.
That got the mule too, so it's not just 5 SCVs. That was nice. That was real nice.
Yeah, you know, talking about Colossus, one is already on the way. There are pylons in position for this, so maybe 2 prots. Just kidding. You try to unsiege. Not even 1. MaNa looking quite good against aLive here. Going for a double forge now that he already has his 3rd base and his disruptor drop is still roaming around, hopefully keeping aLive back at home.
Kills a lot of Marines. I mean, this disruptor has been really cost effective so far.
Yeah, and with that speed upgrade, it's almost always guaranteed.
Sorry, you were saying? Just guaranteed to
to
die
escape
to
the
Marines?
Viking.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say.
No, that was really nice out of aLive. Actually, what's kind of cool and one of my favorite things about aLive when he is playing really well is he's the guy that gets the Widowmine in that one really weird spot that happens to catch anything that flies, like somehow the Oracle's like drawn to it even though it would never go down that path, right? So having an army in the middle of the map like that, not at all surprising unless it was any other player.
Well, as nice as that is to shut down the Warp Prism, the micro of the Disruptor was going to become, I think, like more and more difficult to do as MaNa now has a lot of macro responsibilities. So it's devastating, don't get me wrong. Like, it's supposed to live, it's supposed to come back to and help out with the army, but he might still be able to live. You know, he's got a 2nd Colossus just popped out, and he's really trying to get in an abusive position on the top of a ramp. Oh, but he's not in position for this. Oh, surprisingly, he is. Enough of his army is, with enough Photon overcharges. Nicely done by MaNa. Okay, Viking. You wish you were a Liberator.
Well, I got 2 probes, so I mean, a little babby Liberator. Shame on aLive though for not having the cool Viking skin.
Right? aLive not willing to give up the attack in the main yet. You know, there's no observer over him, which I'm not sure or not. And honestly might be an oversight by MaNa, but MaNa is not being tricked either way, maybe because of lack of information. Like, I don't know. Maybe he'd move his entire army if he saw something moving around on the map. But aLive's finally going to show a 2nd army, but it's not really a convincing one because there's no meta.
Yeah, without that proper support, this is going to be, I guess, limited in what it can do. It's not going to be bad, but it's going to be limited.
MaNa did pull the army from the main. He was legitimately scared of what he saw.
Overcharges might get popped. This is still 3 medevacs deep. He's got to be careful, though. Okay. Oh, positioning here is so sick.
All right, that's a lot of important tech there. Eventually, we want to get to Templar Archives. Eventually, you want to add Blink to this. Like, actually, I want to talk more about that, seeing how much damage this does. Oh, MaNa's like sucked in a rock and a hard place. He also is defense 3rd.
He has not moved his Chronos off of this too, so he might not know to move those anyways.
Well, aLive probably should have picked up right there. Okay, he did end up getting the Twilight Council. I was worried that wouldn't go down, but he now picks up. But the army over here looks like it's still not strong enough to move in. In fact, MaNa is the one that moves into aLive.
Yeah, the Colossus with that range have no problem reaching through the Liberators. There's no Liberator range. But that being said, the Marauders collapsing the Colossus, and despite having no medevacs here, he's getting some pretty good trades. MaNa's higher tech units are much harder to replace.
Yeah, that's again one of the situations where a single Immortal probably would have really helped. I think they also tried to drop in the natural, so MaNa is still a little bit distracted too. Would have been in the main base, getting a lot of probe kills, but it looks like things have calmed down. aLive is still on 2 bases, so I would say that he has yet to do enough damage. But I wanted to talk about the Twilight Council because we don't have Blink. You know, like that's usually just a given if you go up to Colossus really quickly that you are going to get Blink Stalkers. But he was delaying it in the first place. The Twilight Council wasn't researching, and now it's just going to be extra delayed because he's not replacing the Twilight Council. I hope that's on purpose at this point. You know, like he's going to try and save his Colossus from a bunch of Vikings, and it's not going to work out. Or, more likely, from a bunch of Liberators, right? And he's not going to be able to get the position that he wants to. I don't know about this double armory from aLive. Seems like a mistake.
Well, armory aside, I do like the fusion core though. Liberator range is something he definitely needs if he wants to make something happen here. I guess it didn't really register to me, but this is kind of cool. This was exactly 2 TvPs in the semifinals. If aLive takes the series, making that TvP Grand Finals would be the coolest test of Hellraiser's skill, but MaNa's looking pretty good in this game. Like I think it's gonna be hard for aLive to make anything really work here.
He's looking like he's just gonna win straight up, to be honest. Up 20 workers, up 10, sometimes 20 army supply. On his way to a 4th, and just a a fairly good army. But again, missing crucial tech. There's Blink finally started. He did replace Twilight Council. I think he did do sub Accurus. He did Paul SS2 10 months and Shroom 5 for 31 months.
Nice. Thanks so much, guys.
aLive did just lift his main to his 3rd, but now is building a 4th, which almost never happens in that order. But it's happening.
Well, is the
MaNa,
catch probes awkward?
Well, he's just gonna simply catch MaNa without like much army at all.
Yeah, because all of it's over here, and the Liberator's in the wrong spot, and it's not a planetary fortress.
Man, this should have been much more awkward. These still don't have Blink, but because they're just allowed to walk up to the Liberators, it didn't matter. Well, still not taking them out as fast as possible, but it doesn't matter. It's too much army.
Both players losing a lot through this, though. My concern is without a proper medevac support down here, though. Yeah, Chi-Chi's still getting called out of aLive, and MaNa takes that first game.
Pretty good.
Pretty good indeed. All right, well, we'll get to game 2 here ASAP. We're actually going to inject a small break, guys. I got to take care of something really quick. We'll see you soon in 2 minutes. All right, folks, we're back. Lucky for us, and lucky for me needing to do things, aLive went AFK as well, and we're currently waiting on him to come back. I don't mean to do so many commercials. I know that it's a little bit heavier than normal today. It's just I'm trying to multitask, coordinate some stuff as we set up for DreamHack Atlanta, and in 2 minutes I can get like 11 emails done. It's really nice. So, responding, reading, etc. Getting game number 2. MaNa vs aLive. Of course, aLive feeling the burn of that first game. I feel like a lot of it too was like that disruptor drop didn't really screw him over. It didn't obliterate the SCV count. It didn't kill 20 Marines, but it still may have been enough to really throw aLive off. Because just again, not a lot of people do it.
No, that's certainly true. I think it also just was MaNa absolutely anticipating every single move by aLive. aLive was doing a 2-base attack that is really supposed to test the Protoss's multitasking, and it never did. Not enough.
Well, we square off here in game 2, and in the upper right side, we've got the red Protoss from Team Liquid, MaNa.
In the bottom left, as the blue Terran, he is aLive. It has been raining so much. I almost never go outside when it rains because I have the option of not doing that. Or if I do, it's very quickly to a car, right? So I don't really get the full effect, but there's a lot of walking creep, even if I take the bus or the subway or something like that, and I just was like constantly walking to like pouring down rain. I haven't had to do that since I went like camping when I was younger. I tell you, it's not a pleasant experience. Makes it all humid. You guys got like a wet umbrella that you accidentally like poke people with in the bus.
If you guys want to know why Zombie Up was walking, complaining about the weather, actually we got some of the, or at least we've made the footsteps in the right direction to get some of the house rewards for the giant Matcherino done. We haven't really talked about it a lot, so I do want to take a moment here to discuss the Mega Tournament fundraiser. There's not a lot of really amazing awards, I'm going to be honest with you guys. There's just the passion and the hopes that people want to see a really cool StarCraft event when there's less and less of them. But the Mega Tournament fundraiser is a really big deal. If you type !Mega, it'll link you to a Match Arena page. We're almost at 10K is why I really want to talk about this, though, as well. More importantly, one of the rewards is to get a postcard. And what we've done is we've taken a picture of the folks who are staying at the house currently. It's a really nice, cute picture, too. And hopefully we can start sending those out to some of the folks who got that backing reward. We also started getting the wall stuff set up so we can get the names written up on the walls here because it's been kind of delayed. And all these cool things. But also, more notably, once we hit 10K, Match Arena is going to give us another $500 to throw a fun match with. And if you remember the last one, it was the free-for-all that you guys could sort of, I don't know, the Hunger Games sponsor to win thing. I don't know if we'll try and do a more refined version of that, because that was admittedly a shit show, but it was fun. Or maybe we'll try a different format for something else. But either way, once we hit that 10K, it gives us another $500 to play with and make a cool tournament with.
Yeah. Kind of forgot about it, to be honest. It was fun. In some ways, like traumatic, but a lot of fun.
We've also found a lot of ways to solve many of the issues, like pre-making packages that you just apply at the click of a button and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of streamlining that had to be done through trial and error. Forged by fire, stuff like that.
Yeah. Either way, something cool. Maybe it'll just be a King of the Hill. Standard. We'll find out. We'll see what people want to do. But aLive, by the way, this game went for, I guess, an older build. You know, do the fast command center, get the barracks out. You got lots and lots of Marines to play against Oracles with, but gives you a really nice push early on if he wants to get aggressive with it.
Yeah. A push so strong that even with the choke of the third base on Proxima, it can still beat back the Protoss player. But the good news is that if you do have scouting, which obviously MaNa will with this Oracle, you can kind of like, you know what to wait for and how much you can play with. Because the only thing that can surprise you, say you scout the command center first, the probe, and then you leave, and you're like, well, I don't have to worry about this until 6 or 7 minutes, I don't remember. But then they actually do that thing where they send like 60 Marines forward and then they kill you, and you're like, shit. Well, with the Oracle, it hopefully will never happen, and MaNa will be able to play as safe a game as possible. I'm getting some annoying SCD kills. There is no wood of mine. As I think he's realized seeing the 3 barracks. Oh yeah, I'm a little too fancy there. A little too hard.
Well, for aLive, the timing's going to be really sick. Gets that stim, gets that +1. And it's not about defending, then it's about attacking. But I guess it's going to have to wait till those medevacs come out.
Yeah, that is what it's going to come down to. So that gives MaNa, as I said, enough time to think about what he wants to do, but it still hits before you really are quite ready to go. Like I feel like it hits maybe before as like Resident Glaive +1 would finish. Don't quote me on that. But we see it's not Resident Glaives, it's still Twilight Council and a Stargate, right? But no Phoenixes and Blink instead of Charge or Resident Glaives. Interesting choice, because I feel like Blink, you know, and I think this is not just opinion, it's a fact, right? It's not so much about straight up fights. Maybe if you're all winning and it's an early game, you know, that's where it really helps. But in terms of like a late game 3 base, Blink Stalkers are not what you want in heavy numbers against Bio with full upgrades. It's usually Charge or Resident Glaives. So I wonder if he can. I don't think. Anyway, we see the medevacs already on the way, so I'm already almost done. Like, I don't think you can fit in another Twilight Council upgrade. So it's just going to be Blink Stalker, Guardian Shield, and foods and overcharges to survive.
If you can keep the medevacs from even getting in the first place, then that's fine. That's adequate.
Yeah, if aLive goes for a drop. And maybe that's what MaNa's expecting him to do. That's what he did last game, after all, for 2 bases a couple of times. That's actually what his entire strategy revolved around, and it failed because MaNa was dealing with it so effectively. Although, funnily enough, without Blink. But he's being blinked like so fast this time. Anyway, well, we'll see. Like, we're actually going to see in like 30 seconds, 45 seconds what's going to happen here. aLive taking some time so his reinforcements get there faster. He has to still kind of wait for combat shields anyway.
Taking the time to open this path up, but I guess a little bit faster. Bit of an alternate route. He picks up his units. They're going to get revealed. That's a little annoying.
Nice, very nice. That's actually perfect then for MaNa, who does have Blink, who can deal with medevac drops. And medevac drops, just in general, segmenting your army means that smaller armies of Protoss can help deal with it.
Well, it's also pretty crucial, I'd say, too, especially because we talked about the lack of the different upgrades, right? But Ooh, gets on top of the sentries, focuses them all down. No Guardian Shield remains. No medevac support, though, for aLive. It's hard to say where this is going to go. I mean, these Marines and Marauders will trade out for sure, but the Blink Micro out on MaNa, he's keeping a lot of these barely alive, but definitely alive.
That was not perfect, but still impressive how that was handled. That was a very bold Blink forward. If those medevacs were any more unloaded, maybe it doesn't work out that way. But then also in the same vein, if the sentries pulled back a little more, they are very much so helping with Guardian Shield. Now this is enough time for MaNa to get to Resident Glaives, actually finish that up. And aLive still on 2 bases, needs to find some something to actually deal pressure, but it's not looking great.
Well, Stalker's coming in for the offensive. Might just catch this medevac out in the front. Again, bonus points for that revelation. MaNa knows is exposed here.
Dang.
This is so nice.
He's not going to win with Blink Stalkers because there is still a very sizable bioforce from aLive, but they have started off this game stronger than I anticipated, and I end up being a really good tech move.
How many medevacs down so far? 3? That's nice.
Yeah.
Revelation.
If anyone tries to copy this. Anyone tries to copy this, and aLive just actually pushes in the middle, and then MaNa dies. But
actually,
getting those medevacs are all so good.
Well, that's what's kind of cool, right? So it's one of these things where, well, I want to say like MaNa, every time we see him play, desperate situations, he always looks better. Good situations, tends to throw. Like, I want to say it's nice to see him doing this well to begin with, but I'm still scared that he can give this away. Because the army supply is great, but it's such basic units. There's not like a lot of tech follow-up either. Like +1 armor, that's about it.
Use the stasis trap, but a big enough ground force.
Disengaging, smart.
Yeah, I mean, the Adepts might get taken down. Marauder's slow, pretty spell to have, but aLive's not really using all of his army.
No.
As a little bit have to join forces, and also this is happening.
Yes, this is a big problem. And I think MaNa was just waiting for that to go off before he dedicated to a fight on this side so he could focus on killing the SCVs. He now knows that no matter how this trades out, aLive's going to be feeling the burn for it, and he doesn't know, but we know. aLive's down to 24 SCVs.
Yeah.
Oh, and he loses the fight. MaNa's... Oh, he's going to the finals. GG.
2-0. Snap.
Oh, my God. Guys, this is so sick. MaNa beating aLive is really nice, actually, for like a lot of different reasons, but... Now we get a European versus European finals, which I don't know we've seen in a while. On top of that, it's a PvP, which Europe hasn't had happen unless we've set up tournaments specifically for it. Like, this is awesome. So Hellraiser versus MaNa in the grand finals coming up. It's going to be a best of 5. Cross your fingers. Hope for the best. Cha-ching! Who was that? Olsen. Olsen, no, just donated $20 to get some loot. He gave everybody 2 Giphies, but I have Giphies disabled right now because what Giphies do is they allow you to put something on the stream, but I think for personal channels it's not a problem, but for our channel I don't want like a bunch of GIFs going on in the middle of the game. So Bits coming in too. Someone's trying to slay the Bit Boss a little bit late though. Thank you Brady199. Does take a good chunk off of Olsen's health though. Anyways, everyone's got some... Well, actually, I don't know how the loot works. I'll figure that out later. Commercial break, though, while we get these finals set up. It'll be... Yeah, PvP. We'll see you soon.